All right. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and high castle enthusiasts. Welcome back to the review of season 3 of Man in the High Castle. I got a really wide, not angled, but just wide picture of Juliana here. I have the Minecraft music playing in the background. My dinner is next to me cooling off, and I thought there was no better time to discuss season 3 since finishing it yesterday. No, 2 days ago. It's been 2 days at this point that I finished it. And I'll be honest, just getting this out the door already. And remember, there's mild spoilers, very very mild, not major, not mid, but I would say small to mild spoilers. I'm going to be saying here. But the season end was kind of whatever. I'll be honest. Season 2 had a way better ending, cliffhanger. Season 1 also. Pretty good endings. Season 3 endings wasn't that bad, and it was good. It was a good ending. It's just it didn't leave me like thinking like, wow, I can't wait to start the next season. But maybe that's just because of all the other shit I got going on with the job search failing and me not having anything to do. Maybe I just forgot about it, but who knows? But anyway, one thing I want to make clear about season 3 is, well, the whole show's pretty much fucked. I mean, you see Nazis and Japanese soldiers doing atrocities. I would say there's no season so far of the 3 that I've seen that just starts off more fucked, and just in general, all of it's fucked, than in season 3. Season 3 has to be one of the most fucked seasons I've seen. Now, it really goes straight into it, jumping in from season two's ending, which, if you don't know that one, I'm not going to spoil it either, but, like, season 2 ending, you're kind of thinking, like, wow, what's going to happen next? And in season 3, I'll give you, a mild spoiler. When Joe shows up and you see what's happening in season 3 right in the beginning, it is super fucked. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is morbid. This is morbid. This is sad. This is depressing. And that's kind of the whole, like, tone of season 3. In the beginning, in the middle, and a little bit towards the end. It's like, damn, this is just fucked. Like, oh my god. They got way darker in season 3. But, another thing they do, which I really like, was, again, like with, I believe, season 2, there's not really one main character. There's all the characters that you know and care for. Now, back, in the other seasons, this used to be a complaint of, oh, it feels like they're going over characters, and I don't like the whole story of, like, their different ones. Like, it was a little bit of a weak point. I would say this time it's a strong point that they're not going over, like, Juliana and Joe as much, if not, pretty significantly less than the other seasons. I really like Ed's character development. I like Childen's character development. Childen has become probably one of my favorite characters just because of his mannerisms and how he is. Literally, Childen is just roped into bullshit, and there are, like, situations where he obviously picks the wrong choice, but it's not like a groundbreaking, like, wow, this choice fucked everyone choice. The choices Childen makes usually just fuck over himself, and it's pretty funny to see. Because he doesn't always make the wrong choices, and he is a decent man at the end of the day, even though he is a lying, cheating scumbag to the Japanese, selling them fake shit. But, overall, I really like his character, and they give him good PT. They give him good PT. Ed, they flesh out Ed's character a lot. I really like Ed, and surprisingly enough, this season, and I'm really not going to explain who because that'd be a major spoiler, but this season, like I said in the beginning, it's very morbid. They are not scared at all to kill off characters. If there was any season they were not scared to do it, it's this season. There are major characters you would think there's no way they're going to touch these characters. There's no way, like, certain characters don't have plot armor. But I gotta say this, coming from seeing the season, everyone's not safe. I'll just say that. Everyone is not safe. Now, obviously, not every major character dies, but there's some characters in here where you're like, there's no way they could do this to them. Like, something's gonna happen, someone's gonna step in, something's gonna stop the thing that's happening from cocking these people in their ass, but no. They actually get cocked. and there's actual ramifications and death. And I was like, wow. And there's multiple. There's not just one, there's multiple. I was like, holy shit. The show has well, not real death as in like, real life, but like actual death that like people stay dead. And I'm like, holy shit. It was really good. God damn it. There's one thing I wrote here because I write notes as I watch the show, and it's a really big spoiler, but I'll talk about it at the end. I'll have like at the bare ass end a very big like spoiler thing I want to discuss. But anyway, another thing is that in other seasons every character has like a secret agenda, right? Like Kido is doing some next shit. Fucking Tagomi has like his, reality bouncing powers where we could go to different dimensions and shit. There's all this other bullshit that people have, and they all have a secret that they keep. In other seasons, it felt more forced, but as the show goes on, whatever the show tries to do, I feel like they just improve on over time. In season 3, everyone still has secrets, whether they gain more or they just have like old secrets they want to keep. They do it a lot more well just storytelling-wise. Storytelling-wise, it doesn't feel as forced, like it's out of nowhere. Like, these people, they give more screen time to them and more, like, backstory to the secrets themselves and the events of them getting to the point where they have to keep, said event a secret. And it feels more natural and more just real. It's great storytelling yet again. They improved upon it since last season. Now, I want to talk about Joe. Joe, he's been a main character since the beginning. He goes through a major shift this season, and I really don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it, but I understand it. It's the same thing with Kido. I actually really like Kido. As the series goes on, I've liked Kido I've liked Kido more and more. I was gonna say Kido and Kido, but I've liked Kido more and more. Although he does some stuff that I still don't agree with. But Kido overall, I really like because they flesh out his character and they make you understand. He's just a really honorable, no-nonsense guy who wants to do what he needs to do. Now, whether that's bound by duty, which most of the time it is, or whether it's bound by personal... Let's just say, how do I say this the right way without spoiling it? Personal things he just wants, There's not many things that Kido wants personally. Most of the stuff he does is driven by honor and duty and just service to Japan. But there are some stuff that he wants, both good and bad, that you eventually see he chases, which I never thought he would do. I never thought Kido would go on his own and actually try and get something that's not in favor of Japan or not helping Japan overtly. That it's just like a personal thing for him, but he does. And I'm like, holy shit. Joe, on the other hand, again, he goes through a major shift, and I'm not going to explain why. But I understand why he goes through this. I understand why he's doing his actions. I just don't like what they did with the character. I feel really bad for Joe, and I don't really like him anymore. But without spoilers, that's as far as I'll go. So, one big gripe I have with this season is with Tagomi, right? I love Tagomi. I think Tagomi is one of the nicest people in the show. But one thing they don't do, and I guess they don't do it for the sake of the audience, is they don't show how Tagomi does his job. For those of you who aren't familiar or just don't remember, Tagomi is the trade minister of the Pacific states, aka, the American states for Japan. He's the trade minister. He oversees trade. And they do not show him at any point in time that I can remember doing his actual job. He just magically does things, and like there's literally a point where some general who's like really high up in command tells Tagomi, "Oh, Tagomi, we have an oil crisis and our ships are being raided and we are struggling and we will not last the winter. And this falls on you because you're the trade minister and you have to figure it out." And instead of us seeing how he figures it out, he just says, "Okay." And then he, I don't know what he does. He, does something off screen. He, blows some guy. I don't know. But the problem just gets solved. In all 3 seasons, we have not seen how Tagomi does his job at all. The most we see, and I'll give them this, the most we see is him, trying to argue for certain things. Like, oh, hey, you're in power. You're in charge of oil. Can we get some oil? No. Okay, what if we do this for you? Okay. And there's, maybe 1 or 2 instances of that. Or something near that, but that's about it. We never see how Tagomi does his job, and I feel like he just magically is really good at it. I mean, again, maybe showing, trading and trade minister duties isn't the most important or interesting of things for a show, But I feel like, having just at least one little deep look at it would be helpful because they really show everything else with every other character. But anyway, yeah, so that's about it for Tagomi. So one complaint I had about the season, at least in the beginning, was for the first half of the season, you basically have no clue of the direction of the season. Season 1, it's all about the films, right? Season 2, I honestly forgot because not much effort goes into these. It's just my raw opinions and on the notes I write. But season 3, for the first half of it, I was like, what are they doing? Why are they doing things and what are they doing? Like, I had no clue where they were going. It gets fixed at the bare ass end of season 3, but for the most part, it's like season the first half of season 3 was just, I feel like, all over the place, and they didn't really show you mainly what people were doing. They were just showing like what's going on and what people are doing, but you never knew what it was leading to or why. Like the other seasons all had like a big lead up, and season 2, actually I remember now, was the big, like, Japan versus Germany war, but that never happened. But oh great, Spotify is playing it now. Thank you, Spotify. But you know, season 3 at the beginning felt a little disorganized. The storytelling was still great. It just felt like unconnected. Like, why are they showing this? But anyway, it fixed itself at the end of the season. But anyway, what else do I have here? Okay, this is stupid. I'm listening to the stupid ad on Spotify. This is so stupid. So this is probably the best season at showing different stories going on at the same time. So not one person's story, and this is the same as the other seasons. It's just I feel like season 3 did it exceptionally well, as I said it before. Not one story feels like the main story until maybe the end, because then it focuses in on, I would say, like, two characters, and it's really, I'll spoil this. It's really just Juliana and John at the end of like who they're focusing on, because a lot of like stories converge to certain people. Like a lot of stories just end up becoming like intertwined with John's story, and by following John, you follow theirs. And it's the same thing with Juliana. There's not much happening on the Pacific side with the Japanese. At least I think that's the Pacific side. But anyway, another major complaint I have is, you know how for the past 2 seasons, excluding season 3, right, we've had the Resistance, this, underground collection of American people who want to fight the Nazis, take back America, and all this nonsense. And it feels like they're just a group of like 5 to 6 people in a room, or they're all spread out over the country, and they really have like no big impact or influence. Like they don't feel like a real resistance. They fixed it a little bit in season 2 when they showed Juliana getting ganged by, the resistance in New York. But aside from that, right? Aside from that whole hullabaloo, in season 3, the resistance still feels like a pile of shit, and honestly, you're introduced to another group of like army veterans, and they feel so much more organized and professional than the actual resistance. They might as well be the resistance. And the whole time, what are these army veterans doing besides laying low, hiding from Nazis and just chilling? Nothing. They're literally doing nothing. And then something happens which inspires them to, join the cause and, fight the Nazis. But it's not with the resistance. It's just by themselves. And they instantly are like 10 times better than resistance. The resistance literally sucks so much cock, it's insane. I feel like they had a really big just like downplay of the resistance this season, and showing what they could have been with the army veterans and what they're not, because they're really not good. It's really crazy. But anyway, yeah, so the main problem of not having a focus I got through. And another thing they introduced was they introduced some, well, not technically new characters, but other characters in the show that you've seen before finally move up into becoming like not main characters, but like part of the main crew of like, okay, you're gonna see their story unfold. And I really like that, because again, I can't say there's main characters. Like Juliana and Joe obviously were the main characters. Like they're what you started the story off as, and you follow their stories the most. But this season, aside from the end, because the end always focuses around, either Juliana or Joe or what they're doing, because they're like a major part of the season's ending, always. Mostly Juliana, honestly, if I'm being like really honest. But aside from the ending of the seasons, a lot of the other characters are basically main characters, and they introduce, I would like to argue, maybe 2 or 3 more from other seasons. Like they're not new, they're old characters, but they finally move into the spotlight. And I'm like, wow. The storytelling is just really fucking spot on. The story is just really good. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like they just improve upon it every season, and I just have to keep saying it. But the last thing I want to go over is our boy John. You know I love our boy John. Hopefully we all love our boy John. John is a fucking man, but my God, does he get tested again this season. This season is not as bad as last season where he gets tested. Last season, he got tested from every which fucking way. From, like, the left side, the right side, like, on, you know, the Japanese side, the Nazi side. Like, it felt like everything at one point was against him. And at multiple points, it felt like there was just stuff stacking on where it's like, how will John get past this? This season is not as crazy for John, but there's definitely some problems John faces, and there's a big one at the end of the season that's like, oh shit. But a lot of twists and turns this season, as is for every season. Again, the ending wasn't that strong, but there was some good points before the ending, like literally right before that they introduced. But it was really cool. I mean, there is a major event that happens at the end, but I can't spoil it. But overall, it was really good. It was really good. I feel like they improved the storytelling even more. And allegedly, I heard like the author left or stopped like helping them with the show. But it still feels like a great show. Like, I didn't see any really downgrade. So now to get into spoilers with the one thing I want to say that's kind of a big spoiler. So if you're, I'll try and make this as not spoilery as possible, but you've been warned. This is kind of a mid to high spoiler, but they show it pretty early in the season. So yeah, remember our boy Frank, how he like blew himself up? Well, he's not actually dead. So basically, this is the complaint I had another season, and I think it was specifically with Frank too. Frank always flip-flops. Some characters did it as well, but I don't think any character has done it as bad as Frank now. Now, for this last time he flip-flopped with his ideals and like his motivations, I understand it for this last time, but God, it's so annoying. Like, every other time, it felt like they were just doing it to match the story's needs. And then finally, when they have him, like, change his motivation now, I'll give another spoiler. He's basically a hippie now. Like, he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to be part of the resistance or anything because of what he did, you know, killing innocent lives. He's like, okay, I'm done. I just want to be peaceful. It's over. Like, other people can fight. That's great. But I'm going to fight in non-violent ways, and I want to be peaceful. It's like, this is the final change Frank goes through, and I agree with it. I understand the reasoning behind it, but my God, he's gone through so many changes, it's just annoying to see him go through another one. Like, again, this one's totally explainable, I totally get it, but my God, it's annoying. It's the same thing with Joe. It's like seeing Joe go through the change that he's going through. I understand it, I just don't like it. This change, I understand it, I'm just annoyed by it because Frank has changed and done different things like morally and had different motivations so many times. It's like, damn, again, like, you've changed your stance on stuff. Like, Jesus Christ, can you not put your foot down and just decide something? Like, does something always have to happen in your day-to-day life where, like, every other, like, day you change? Like, oh, I hate the rebels. Oh, I don't want to be a part of them. Oh, now I'm working for them. Oh, now I'm gung-ho, I want to do it. It's like, it's so crazy. But again, he kind of explains his reasoning for stuff too. And this is the last one, like, I really agree with, where it's like, he explains his reasoning, why he thinks what he thinks, why he believes what he believes now. And it's not only understandable, but it's realistic too for what he's gone through. But anyway, I mean, that's about it for the season. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to really enjoy Season 4, and I've heard it's the last one. They didn't go Season 5, so we'll see if Season 4 actually puts a good end to everything, because they're kind of getting to a sort of end game I can kind of see, but we'll see what happens. I hope it's not a Marco Polo incident where they just leave us blue-balled, because I'll be really sad. But yeah, it's a great show. I'm really, really liking John. Although John wasn't shining as much as other seasons, because he hasn't been put through as much as other seasons. Not to say he doesn't go through shit. He does, but it's like, you can really tell they really like John. John really steals part of the show. It's crazy. But yeah, overall, great season. The ending wasn't as strong as other ones, but that's not to say it's bad. It's pretty good. And yeah, some complaints come back from other seasons, but overall I feel like it just got better story-wise, and that's the main reason I watched the show, for the story. So overall, really, really good. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back for the season 4 review once I finish season 4, whenever the fuck that is. But yeah, I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed.